Stephanie Dreyer, plant-based meal planning expert and the founder of Batch Cooking Club, a weekly vegan meal prep membership that makes dinner easier. And we are live with our weekly cooking class. And today we are making one of the standout recipes from this week's member meal plan, chickpea lemon orzo soup. So I'm gonna get my oil started. We will post the recipe after the live so that you can have all of the ingredients ready to go and make this for yourself. It's one of my favorite one-pot meals. And you need a few things. We've got our no chicken vegan broth. I love this broth. You can use vegetable broth, but this is my go-to when I'm making this soup, or actually really any soup. I love the flavor to it. It's a little bit different than a vegetable broth. And we also have some baby kale. We have some chickpeas, of course. It wouldn't be chickpea lemon orzo soup without it. And some orzo. We are using orzo. If you are gluten-free, you could also use instead 1.5 cups of brown rice or jasmine rice or any kind of gluten-free grain that you would like to use. All of our recipes have allergen-free information for soy, obviously dairy, soy, nuts, gluten, and if you want to go oil-free, we have substitutions for that as well. So if you have a special diet that you're following, we accommodate that with any recipe that uses those allergens. And we also have an ingredient substitution guide. So if you don't like baby kale, we've got a guide that gives you an alternative for every ingredient in each of our recipes. We update that each week. You also are going to need some tahini, which is some sesame, basically sesame seeds in butter. And that is gonna add some creaminess after we make the soup. We're gonna stir that into the soup with the lemon zest and the lemon juice. Adds lots of great flavor. And then we have some seasonings. Of course, we have sea salt, we have some lemon pepper, and then I've got this vegan chickenless poultry seasoning from Trader Joe's. You could use, you need a teaspoon of this. You could just use any kind of vegan poultry season. There's so many different ones out there. They have powdered ones, they have liquid ones. So just use whatever you have on hand. I'm so excited to try this because this is kind of new and it came out really nice in the soup. So we're gonna use that as well. And then for veggies, we need your standard onion and garlic, which I've got chopped up over here. I've got 3 cloves of garlic and 1 onion, about a medium to small onion. You don't need a big onion. And I am just gonna saute that with a little bit of olive oil, and then we'll add our celery and our carrots. Oh, and I should say, shout out to any of our members who are watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, whether you're watching this in replay or live. We appreciate you, and I'm happy to see you here. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will answer them as best as I can, either now or after the live. I always read through everything and answer everything personally. So I'm just gonna let that cook up, and let's talk about our veggies, our celery and our carrots. So you want to, it's, what was it, 2 carrots and 2 stalks of celery. And you want to fine dice, and so what I thought you want to dice like this. You can do it as small, you can do it smaller if you want to, depending how you like your vegetables. I like to see them a little bit. So it's going to show you a couple little tricks. Number 1, make sure your knife is sharp before you start chopping up. That's critical. You can hurt yourself if your knife isn't sharp. So make sure you use your honer to give it a nice sharpen. I'm going to start first with my celery. This is how I get a nice dice. It's like a little hack of mine. I don't know. I'm sure other people do this too. I am just slicing it into little strips. And obviously, the thinner the strip you cut, the smaller your dice is going to be. And then I am just going to slice it or chop it from there. And you can see it gives you a nice dice. And then you can go over it with your knife if you want to get it even smaller. So that's our celery. That's pretty nice, actually. I think I'm going to leave it like that because, like I said, I like it a little bit where I can have a little bit of crunch. I'm going to give this another little zhuzh in here. You only need to cook your onions and your garlic for about 3 minutes. Sorry, my back's to you. I need a burner right here. So for the carrots, I did the same that I did with the celery. And I just cut them into strips. And then I do my little dice. See, it just comes together. Whoopies. So easily like that. It makes chopping and dicing a lot quicker. Although, if my husband's listening, my husband's watching, Breville has a slice and dice food processor that does all of this for you. It's been on my wish list for like, I think 3 Christmases and Hanukkahs, but if you can't have this, this is a much less expensive and easier way to get your dice in. Do we have any questions while I'm just chopping away here? No questions? Okay. So let me tell you a little bit, for those of you new to Batch Cooking Club, let me tell you, I have to be careful because I need to watch my fingers. I am the person who would cut her finger while I'm like accident prone, as they say. So here, I'm going to finish chopping this, but I'd love to share a little bit more about what's in our menu this week for Batch Cooking Club, which you can always see at batchcookingclub.com/this-week. We always post the menu so you can see what we're serving. We post 4 new dinners every week in a meal plan. And that plan also includes those 4 recipes, but also 4 to 6 other recipes that you can prep on the weekend to speed up those meals later in the week. Or in this case, you would make this whole soup on the weekend and it would be ready to go. We're going to add our celery and our carrot to the onions and the garlic. So this soup, you're going to make this on Sunday or Saturday, whenever you're batch cooking, and your meal is ready. All you have to do is reheat it, right, later in the week, and it's ready to go. So we're just going to let this cook for about 5 minutes to let the vegetables soften. And I'm just going to let that. It's already smelling really yummy in here. There we go. So let me talk a little bit more about the plan. So you have 4 to 6 recipes, and then we'll zest our lemons while we're talking here. We give you those 4 to 6 recipes. They speed it up. We usually give you one recipe that you batch, double, and then you use it in 2 ways. So for example, this week we have butternut squash and black bean burritos. We also have a butternut squash vegetable curry bowls, the ramen noodle salad, and then also this soup. Those are our 4 meals. That butternut squash curry and the fiesta the butternut squash burritos, we're gonna roast our butternut squash at the same time and get more bang for our batch and use that butternut squash to make a curry sauce and then also to make a burrito filling. So you get the idea. We get really creative and we get you to be more efficient. Our plans also include a step-by-step 1, 2, 3 order of what to make and in what order of those 4 to 6 recipes. So you're in and out of the kitchen in less than 2 hours. That's our goal. We want you to enjoy your time in the kitchen and not have to spend all day cooking. What else can I tell you? We've got the ramen noodle salad is super delicious as well. And we have posted this week on our blog easy garlic rice, which is the rice that we're using in our burritos, and we're also using it in those curry bowls. So we're double batching 2 things this week. So I'm just going to give this another little zhuzh. So let's talk lemon. So the star in this soup is the lemon, right? There's lovely, well actually there's a lot of stars, because I would say this tahini, my eyes are watering and I'm not even outside. The tahini adds the creaminess, the lemon juice adds, and the zest adds like a bright tangy flavor. Then you've also got obviously this bright kale that adds all the greens. So there's a lot of layers of flavor going on here. You need to do the zest of 2 lemons and the juice. I hope I didn't mess it up. I think it's the zest of 2 lemons and the juice of 3. So I always zest before I slice them up. I am using a microplane. That is my favorite way to do it. And we're just gonna zest them so you can see I'm just doing a little bit with my microplane to get to like the white, not quite to the white part, but just a little, like a 1-2 action. This is a great arm workout if you're looking to get a little exercise in. I joke, I'm just kidding, but I mean, you kind of are. You could get a little workout in. So how's everybody doing? If anybody's watching live, Drop an emoji to show me how you're feeling, how you're doing moving into the holiday season. I am super excited. We're kicking off Hanukkah today, and I am ready, people. The gifts are wrapped, the latkes are made, and it's time to have some 8 crazy nights. So I am actually going to make this soup because I have Hanukkah tonight and freeze it. So that's a good tip for you all is you can make this soup, and we can now go, we're going to add in our, let me check the veggies, we can add in our chickpeas, and we can add in our broth. We have 6 cups of broth here. Shake it up. I love this broth, you guys. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend giving it a try. I'm not getting paid to say this. I just think it adds so much flavor, and really what you cook is only as good as the ingredients as you use. I know that sounds pretty simple and sure, yeah, Stephanie, but really the quality of the ingredients you use is going to make such a difference with your meals. So, you know, go big with the ingredients. Go big on your broth. And if you have the ability to make homemade veg stock, go for it. I take a little help from the store. I'm gonna add in my Orzo, and you're just gonna cook, and our seasonings. We're going to put our lemon pepper, our poultry seasoning, and I'm gonna put in a little bit of salt, just a little bit, because that poultry seasoning does have a little bit of salt. So just a half a teaspoon of salt. Obviously do less if you want less. And we're just gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes while to let the Orzo cook. When the Orzo's done, the soup is ready for the next step. So this is a really quick meal, as you can see, as we're prepping this. When that's done, when the Orzo's done, let me make a mental note of the time. Okay, so we will put in the lemon juice, and we will put in the zest, we will stir in the tahini, and we will stir in the fresh baby kale. And you could use any green that you like. When you serve this soup, it is delightful with a little fresh dill. That's optional, but that's how I like to serve it, with a little sprinkle of dill on top. So, all right, so back to our zesting. Ooh, I got a little dill on my microplane. So you're gonna just zest these. It doesn't take very long. You can see I'm doing this pretty quick. We're gonna do 2 lemons. Okay. Always give it a little pound there so it gets all the good stuff out. And right now we have the gift of batch cooking clubs. So to anybody who's watching and needs any last minute gifts, maybe you weren't forced to get everything together super early like me because Hanukkah came so early this year. But for just $10, you can give the gift of Batch Cooking Club, a membership to your favorite home cook. And when you do that, we have an amazing holiday gift guide that I've put together with exclusive offers for some women-owned small businesses that are cruelty-free and vegan. And so that's a really fun guide. I did a lot of my shopping from that. We had rosemary, salt, and thyme. We had Spirit Feather Shop for beautiful jewelry. We had Gilly's Organics, which is a beauty line. Let's see, what else do we have? Bohemian Bubble has some great fandom soaps and bath bombs and fun things like that. Nasty Women Wines is another one in our guide, and as you might guess, different wines. And then also Kate's Safe and Sweet, which is a great line of allergen-free, of all the top 9 allergen-free baking boxes, kits, frosting, sprinkles, etc. So if you need gifts, just buy a membership and you get that free as our gift to you. So we've got that going on. And if you're not, I'm so happy to connect with you here. We'd also love to connect with you on Instagram. We are there at Batch Cooking Club, and you can also connect with me here on Facebook and Instagram at Veegmama, VEGMAMA, and I've got a fun giveaway going on over at Veegmama on Instagram. It ends tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're in the market for a new cookbook, you got to check it out. There's an amazing cookbook giveaway going on. Okay, so you saw how quick that was. I'm gonna slice these babies up to get, these are perfect. I'm very lucky, guys. These lemons are from my dad, and there's my dog. The joys of going live from your home. These lemons are from my dad's best friend's orchard. I call it his orchard. It's not really an orchard, but let's see, is this gonna fit in here? Oh, it is. Wow, it's like the perfect size. Okay, so I'm just gonna get these ready because we're just gonna take off the soup from the stove and we're gonna finish it off here. So I'm gonna get all my stuff ready. Let's see how we're doing. Where's my little spoonula? So you can see this is really easy, and when in our plans, the way I mentioned that we have a step-by-step prep plan for you to follow, we organize your cooking so that you get in and out of the kitchen in less than 2 hours. So we do all of our roasting first, then we would do our stovetop simmers like this. So while this is cooking, we would have you in our plan, we'd have you preparing the other recipes that need to get done. So you're always active, you're never wasting time. So by the end of the 2 hours or less, you've got this soup done as well as your other components to throw together your dinners quickly and easily. And I'm just giving this a stir to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. And it's really good. And actually, we can even cover this. Why not? Show off my pretty Le Creuset pot. This is like one of the jewels of my kitchen, my prize pot. Do you guys have a prize piece in your kitchen? I know Le Creuset for many of us is that piece that you like when you got your first Le Creuset. That actually would be a great story. We should talk about that. If you have a Le Creuset moment, your first Le Creuset that you bought, what was it? I remember it was a gift. It was a gift from my mom. I got my first Le Creuset. It was a casserole dish that I used for lasagna all the time, and it had the cover, and it was like, I remember thinking, oh, I've really made it now. I've got a Le Creuset. I'm a real chef now. So I would love to hear if you have a moment like that, because I know for those of us home cooks, those are prized possessions. All right, so let me tell you what else I mentioned we have our blog weekly. We post new recipes weekly. I'm just checking the time just to make sure that's cooking. And like I mentioned, we have that easy garlic rice that we posted. Go check it out. We used it in the burritos this week. We're also using it in, like I mentioned, in those vegetable curry bowls. But it's a really versatile grain. I love to batch cook every week one kind of grain because it makes vegan bowls so easy to throw together. All you need is a grain, a marinated protein or a bean. You could even just drain a can of beans and a sauce, right? A dressing. So if you've got that grain ready to go, it simplifies it. And that's a really good one that you can use as like a base and add, change up the seasonings, and you've got like a little different flavor profile. So you can check that out. You can always check the menu over at batchcookingclub.com/this-week. And I'm so excited to answer any questions you have. If we have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm always watching in replays as well, so feel free if you have questions there. I did get some good questions. Oh, I told you guys about the liquid. Again, you can use liquid or any kind of powdered bouillon, chicken bouillon that's vegan, or if you're not worried about vegan. If you've got a mixed diet, so my family is not vegan, and a lot of our members have families that are not vegan. You may be wondering, how do I make this work for my family? A lot of our members do. They make the membership work for their families because in the members private group, I do check-ins every week, and I talk about how to adapt the recipes. So this particular recipe has the power of the protein power of the chickpeas. But if you've got non-vegans who want a little bit more protein, you can either make some shredded chicken or be I have a best friend who her go-to is she gets a rotisserie chicken from the store that's already made, and she'll just shred that up for herself for different meals throughout the week. You could just serve some shredded chicken on the side. And I would serve this soup with a big fresh green salad with like a simple vinaigrette and maybe some crusty, either gluten-free or focaccia bread. I think I mentioned last week, I just discovered an amazing gluten-free vegan bakery in San Diego. They ship, it's called Bread Block, B-L-O-K, not the C. And they're very reasonable, especially considering it's just for me. And I could just, but they have a sourdough. I got a sourdough, a whole wheat, and a caraway seed, which is like a rye. And you can just slice it and put it in the freezer and take out slices as you need it. It's my new favorite gluten-free vegan bread. And so I would slice some of that sourdough up and serve it on the side with this. So how are we doing on time? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off. Pull this over so you can see it instead of my back towards you. We are going to stir in that tahini. And if you're new to tahini, this is a great secret, not so secret, to adding a little creaminess to your sauces or to your soups. It just adds a little bit of creaminess. You can already see that. And then I'm gonna add my lemon zest. And I'm gonna squeeze in my lemons. You'll wanna taste it after you do all of it. Oh, see, that one's too big. You're gonna taste it afterwards. Now they're all too big in this one. And add a little salt if you need more salt. Add a little bit more lemon pepper if you want a little bit more lemon pepper. Totally up to you. Always taste your food before you serve it. Make sure it's up to snuff because you don't want your family to be like, you know, calling you out. Okay, so we're just gonna squeeze this. Obviously, this gives all of the lemony flavor. You can do less lemons if you don't like it lemony. Full disclosure, I like things lemony. I like things very lemony. When I make guacamole, my family's always like, it's too much lime, Mom. I like the citrus. So we're just gonna do this. This is very exciting to show you. All right. Oh, and I can tell you too, I'm going live right after this. Sorry, we're getting some outside noise. I forgot to shut the windows. I'm going live right after this with Gilly. I just mentioned it from our holiday gift guide, Gilly's Organics over at Veg Mama on Instagram. And we're going to talk about you are what you eat. It's not just about what you put in. Oops, I'm like spilling the sorry, I'm squirting our camera guy. I think this might have been easier just doing it with my hands. And so if you want to join me for that, you can head on over to Instagram at 11 o'clock on Veg Mama. And we're going to be talking about skincare and how what you eat affects how you look with your skin. You are what you eat. One of my favorite sayings. Okay, so this is done. You're just going to give it a little whirl. As long as your pasta's done, your Orzo, it's good to go. And this is really a fun take on, like, I don't know if anybody grew up with chicken and rice soup. This is kind of my ode to that my mom used to make. Just a different spin on it with chickpeas. And what I love about these soups is that they're great bases, right? You could really change this out with any bean. We need to put our greens in. You do the greens at the very end because obviously they're gonna wilt. You wanna take it off of the stove and stir them in. And then if you're not serving this fresh, you can always, what I do is when I go to reheat, if I have leftovers, like I'm gonna have leftovers with this for sure, is I reheat it and I just throw like a handful of fresh greens in there, and it brightens it back up, and you're good to go, and you get even more green power. So there we have it, you guys. Our chickpea lemon Orzo soup, ready in under 30 minutes. Batch cook it on the weekend. Serve it with some of this beautiful fresh dill when you ladle it into the bowls. And let me see if I can hold it up so you can see.
I guess you can zoom in. That is our chickpea lemon soup. Lemon Orzo soup.
Thank you so much for watching. We are here weekly at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursdays, bringing you a fresh and delicious new batch cooking club recipe that's featured in our members only plan for the week. Visit batchcookingclub.com to learn more about how to join us. We hope to see you next week.